It's 7:29. Waiting one more minute for some poker peeps to join. Had quite a few last week. We'll see what happens this week. Maybe people are so bored at home that they'll have to join me. Not sure. Anybody out there? Hey, there's somebody. It's old man stuff. What do I have on my face? Brant is the first one in the chat, and last week he was very, very late. Shame on you, sir. I don't have anything on my face. Maybe there was something on your television screen or your computer screen. It's a little slow getting started tonight. Woo, it's hot in this room already. I have some light shining down. That's why the shimmer on my face. Hello, Robert. It's the real deal, Mr. Bill. I hope so. I enjoyed doing this last week, so I thought we would do it again. I actually got some really good feedback, so I was very, very happy. Because I haven't done this whole lot, and I am not the most audio-visual, technically savvy person in the world. So, ooh, ACR, I don't know. I don't really play online poker. I'm a software developer, and I don't trust it at all. So if it was regulated, I would play if it was regulated. But these unregulated sites, just not for me. In fact, I've had a lot of people ask me if I would do a Poker Bros or PP Poker account because I've got a little bit of a following, and I always tell them, nope, I don't care how much money I can make. It's just not for me. Hello, people. Just don't play cash, Mr. Bill. I don't know why. I do pretty good. Although the vast majority of my winnings, I'm up $80-some thousand over, is it 9 years or 10 now? I don't know. I make about $8,000 or $9,000 a year. And I will say that 2/3 of it is big time scores in tournaments. So I'm only up a little bit in cash. Oh, okay. Thank you. He said on ACR, don't play cash. Okay. He didn't mean live. Although the live poker scene is quite dormant at the moment. Just waiting for some people to join. Last week, man, I had a whole bunch of people right at the beginning. Did I get the time right on the announcement? I hope so. And old Billy Willie will not be joining us tonight. He is going camping. Jimmy Such. Let's go Vikings. And you can't say anything back, sir. I went to WinStar on the night they closed. Oh my goodness. Did you get to play at all? I would imagine no. Jimmy Such, how come you weren't here last week? Supporting your Wednesday night poker brother. That's funny. So I wanted to do part of what I want to talk about tonight is EV, and I'm going to talk more about that. Why do I want to talk about that here in a little bit? I've got an analogy. So, any surprise appearances tonight? Probably Vicky, although that really wasn't quite a surprise since I say we'd probably be doing it. So, what I am trying to do is I want to get Brant and Rob and Jason and my son on here. So I'm looking into how do you do that with Skype and OBS and some other streaming software. I think that's right at Jason's wheelhouse. So, and also you can do more with controllers and stuff like that. Right now you can see what you see and I can see the chat and that's about it. I can't really change shots and things like that on just the live webcam. So if I can get to the Skype and the OBS live streaming software, then I can do some more stuff. So when do I think WinStar will open up back up? I don't know. I hope by the end of April. I don't know if that's going to be unrealistic or not. President Trump said he wants stuff opening up by Easter. I think that's probably a little bit aggressive, although I would love for that to happen. Oh, oh my goodness. Isma says they were cutting down sections until it was time to go at WinStar. Oh my. You thought Vicky would be on by now? She is taking the Buddy the dog for a walk. I know Brant says show Buddy. So when Vicky and Buddy get back, I will have them come say hello. So what are you guys doing with your what would be poker time? So tonight is Wednesday night. It would normally be my league. And obviously you guys are watching this. So, but what have you been doing with your time? Have you been doing any studying? Have you been doing any kind of like entertainment watching? I have not done much study at all, honestly. I have mostly watched Berkey play the WSOP online, WSOP circuit online for the last 3 days. Of course, you can't help but learn something when you're watching him. He is ridiculously good. Hey, yo, I just mentioned you, JC Sound Guy, Jason Cole, and you were not on. Woo. Brant says he's working 18 to 20-hour work days. Holy cow. That is way too much. Yeah, exactly. Jimmy Such. Go and stir crazy. I think that's all of us. Man, we need to get out, and especially now that the weather's nice. It wasn't so bad when it's cold, but now that the weather's nice, man, I want to, and I can't go outside. We rode our bike and we went for walks. Vicky and I are doing some high-intensity interval training, but that's in the house. But now that it's nice outside, man, I want to get outside and go do something. Been doing training and certifications. Now, you're not talking about poker, are you, Jason? Jason, I said that I want to do on this. I want to do some live streaming with Skype and OBS and get you and Brant and Rob and maybe Billy on here and do like multiple people, which you can do with that stuff. I'm just not the most technically savvy. And I said, maybe you could set me up or help me. Do I think the heat will help the coronavirus? Absolutely. Coronavirus is going to die in North Texas, I think, anyways. I think it's going to be, we're going to see it go straight down the old tubers, thankfully, because it says it can't stand heat over, 76 or 78 or something. And we're going to be in the 80s all week. So we want Jimmy Rags. I don't know who else would say that. So I've got a little. Can you guys read that? It looks upside down to me, but that's probably just to me. Can you guys see that and read that? Yeah, Zoom, although Zoom's kind of expensive. OBS is free and Skype is free. If I had a, what's the Apple camera called? If I had an iPhone, there's one called, I believe, XCam, which I think is, it sounds like it's fantastic, but I don't have, not an iPhone. If I had a Mac, I don't have a Mac though. I've been on Windows and Microsoft my entire software development career. So no change in that now. I don't know if anybody wins Wednesday Night Poker League. Am I in for, no, I'm in second place now in the World Series of Poker contest. So they better not just refund the money. That would not be fair. We worked to get that. They should either roll it over or have us go play another tournament, but we'll see. Yeah, Zoom is up to free 8 video streams at once, but I think it's expensive. So one of these times we're going to get Jason and the boys to help me get set up here. Wow, I don't have nearly as many people this week as I had last week. Geez, there was like 40 some last week, and now we have 9. And I don't want to do this whole thing on EV if it's not very many people. I'll save that for a vlog. Yeah, so there's been people asking about, hey, do you guys want to get a poker app and just set up our own tournaments for our poker league? And I don't know. I'd probably play, but the money's an issue. So I don't know. Hey, buddy. Buddy's here. Come here. Come here. Come here. I'll show you guys, buddy. Come here. Buddy, come here. Oh, he ran away. Buddy did not want to be on the stream, evidently, because he ran away. Vicky and Buddy will be back later. Not doing a Viking shirt tonight, as you guys probably saw. Dallas Stars. Let's go Dallas Stars. Buddy, come here. You want to be on the TV? On the computer? You want to be on the computer? Come here. They want to see you. Hey, he don't listen for diddly-do. That's kind of like me. I don't listen for diddly-do either. So what kind of questions you guys got for me this week? Anything? I'm going to talk about expected value a little bit. If you guys don't have this book and you are not good at poker math, or even if you are, it's really an excellent, excellent book. Essential Poker Math by Alton Hardin, updated edition. It's very, very good. So if you want to learn more about poker math, that's really a good book. Hey, Mike. Am I working or did they give you the buyout? They asked about the buyout. I have not taken it yet. We have until next Friday to make a decision. They are offering, for people of my age, stature, number of years, they're offering 39 weeks of compensation. But that does not, but you don't get your unused PTO. And what else do you get? No ring, no watch, no nothing else. I believe I don't even know if they pay for insurance at all, even 6 months or anything. I don't think they do. So I think it's pretty much you get 3/4 of a year of salary and a good luck finding another job, because it is a non-disclosure or non-compete clause with many of the other travel companies that we work with today. For example, I worked for American turned into Sabre. If you leave Sabre, you cannot go to American for 18 months or something like that. So it's tough. Oh my. Yes, the one guy says it sucks that the casino are closed because he just turned 21. Yeah, that's absolutely true. I know when Billy was playing at WinStar and Choctaw, and then we would go to Vegas, it drove him crazy because he couldn't play in Vegas, and he was able to play here. So So Brant says that he has had 100 of his 100 layoffs or quits and with the clients that he's working with, not at his particular company. He said all of them are younger. Wow. Hello, Nick. How are you? Buddy, you want to be on this? You want to be on this thing now? Come here. Come here. Oh, buddy. Buddy the dog does not want to be on here. So what else are we doing? So we started doing more serious physical training. I've been riding my bike many, many miles a day, and we're doing the aerobics and that. I haven't gotten back into the weight training. I used to do a lot of weight training when I was younger. I haven't done it for a number of years. So we're doing that, and that's really pretty much it. Oh, we watched, how many of you guys watched Tiger King? I've already watched the whole thing. We had to watch it. So if you're from here, you had to watch it, right? Because it's right up the road in Oklahoma. How many of you guys, give me the thumbs up or a yes or okay, if you've been to the Tiger King, if you've been to the Wynnewood Lion or Tiger Zoo up in Oklahoma. Probably everybody down here has been there. So anyhow, we binge watched I don't binge watch anything. This is the first show I've ever binge watched. We watched Tiger King on Netflix. Talk about it. It was one of the shows where I didn't necessarily want to watch it, but you couldn't turn away. It's like if you see a car, if you see a wreck that's about to happen, you have to watch it. So we had to watch it. So we binge watched it. For us, binge watching means we watched all 7 episodes in 2 days. So crazy. Hey, Brian Dean says he's been retired for 3 years and highly recommends it. I would like to do that too. So nobody's watched Tiger King? I think Jimmy Such gave me a thumbs down saying, Jimmy, you didn't watch it, I guess. I have a friend whose son was the same age as mine. He was a principal at one of the schools around here, and he said that it's just the worst. But it isn't. It was very, very entertaining. It was just, if you think there's a lot of criminal aspects in poker, holy cow. It's like 90% or more of the people that are on that show should have been in prison. Oh, okay. So Jason said, if you haven't seen 1917, it's a must watch on his list. Now, we had this conversation already on Facebook, and I thought 1917 was a good movie. However, it was ultra hyped on the commercials and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know how it could ever live up to the hype. So it wasn't a great movie, but it was a good movie. It was entertaining, and the cinematography was fantastic. But that's from Siskel, Ebert, and Mr. Bill. Actually, probably not Ebert, because Ebert's no longer. I don't even know if Siskel's around anymore. Jimmy would know. Jimmy, those are Chicago guys. Is Siskel around anymore? I know Ebert, Ebert, Ebert no good. For 15 years, he hasn't been around, I believe. But Siskel was. So that was another one. I watched those guys all the time when I was in my 20s and stuff, but no longer. Yes, I agree with that. Jason says the cinematography basically was fantastic. So, buddy, do you want to come up here and see this? Here, hold on to get Buddy. Buddy, don't run. See if Buddy won't come be on my film. Gosh darn it, Buddy. He ran away again. He just simply does not want to be on there tonight. I don't know what the deal is. So this is going much slower than last week. Last week I had like 40-some people. Maybe it's because it's the first one I've done in forever and a day. I don't know. So I'm not going to do this whole presentation that I had on EV if there aren't people here, because I will just save it for one of my vlogs, which I don't think that there's going to be a vlog this week. I had been working out and watching stuff, and I didn't know what to do it on. Although I actually do have some really good subjects that I think I could do it on. I just haven't done it yet. So. People might be afraid too hard to think on math. This is a pretty simple formula. EV is that formula. It really is not very difficult. One of the things that drives me crazy is, so my analogy was going to be is, how many of you guys have been given criticism at your job or in your life or whatever by somebody who's an expert in that field? I would say probably most of us. And if that's the case, then that is what I would consider constructive criticism. There's nothing wrong with getting criticism from a peer or somebody who knows about the business or the subject or whatever. Now, by the same token, how many of you guys have gotten criticism? Actually, this coronavirus thing is a great example. How many people are out there criticizing whoever's making decisions and have absolutely no clue, but they saw something on Facebook or they read one article and now they think that they're the expert. That is not constructive criticism. That is criticism from somebody who has absolutely no idea what they're talking about. And that was kind of my point on, I got criticism last week on my vlog that I did about saying that you should play your flush draws fast. And I, of course, can prove based on the subject of EV that in many, probably most cases, it's a very, very good thing to do. But I got people that were telling me I had no idea about poker because I was making these decisions and I would present them the numbers on EV, and well, that doesn't matter. Facts do matter sometimes. Oh, funny. Wow. I'm just shocked that Sisley. Oh, so that makes me Siskel. Siskel died in 99. Ebert, 2013. I thought it was the other way around. Oh, Siskel was the big guy. Ebert was the skinny guy, evidently. So how do you determine showdown value, not betting, and missing value on the river by not betting? That's a very, very good question. It's the same conversation that Brant and Rob and Jason and I have had where we talked about what is thin value betting, which is pretty much exactly the same thing. How do you determine if you have showdown and you don't want to bet versus, and a lot of times showdown value is going to win, right? So if you think that you have a hand that can squeeze out a little bit of money, that's where you're talking about making a thin value bet. And boy, there's lots of theories on that. How do you determine it? I think personally, a lot of times it's going to be very, very dependent upon the player that you're playing. So in other words, if I'm playing against a player who's very, very good and they are not afraid to raise on the river, whether they have it or not, you have to be really, really careful. If you've got a player that plays very, very straight up and, they're either going to call you with a mediocre hand, fold with a nothing hand, or only raise you if they've got an absolutely monster hand, against those players, you can go for a thin value. And if they raise you, you simply fold. But yeah, I think that's very, very player dependent. Again, Rob and Brant and Jason and I have discussed this quite a bit, and I don't think there really is a consensus. Sorry, this is going so slow tonight. Wow, I was going to have somebody. Can you guys tell me if super chat is enabled on your guys? That's where, if you want to make a $1 donation, you can get your comment highlighted. I don't know if I'm set up for that or not. Does anybody see a little super chat logo down there by where you place the chat stuff? I think it looks like a little dollar sign, but I don't know. I've never done it. I should go into Berkey's chat and do it, because I would definitely support those guys. Oh, yay, it is. Okay, so thank you, Nick. So maybe I'll have, next time my son gets on here, because he owes me so much money, I'm going to make him do that so I can see what it looks like. So yeah, Billy is going camping tonight with his 4 roommates. They've been quarantined in their house in Fayetteville, Arkansas. They all go to the University of Arkansas, and they are going camping tonight with those 4. And there's 4 other people or 3 other people, and they're all just going camping overnight in the mountains up there. So he could not join tonight. I wish he could. I like it when Billy's on there. So I guess, Brent, you must be talking about the when do you thin value bet. The player, the flow of the tables, and your image will weigh heavily on thin value betting decisions. Absolutely. Absolutely. My own personal, again, one more time for me, the villain in the case, it probably for me is the biggest factor. The other stuff is absolutely true, though, also. You can't send any money, only a sticker or chat. Wonder why that is. Not that I want everybody to send me money, although I would certainly take it, because I don't make anything doing this. I must have something set up incorrectly. I don't know. Or maybe I have to have more subscribers, more views. I don't know. It's really interesting. Huh. Hey, Bill, hope you're good. I am good. I hope you are good also. I was telling people that it's kind of stir crazy. Everybody's like that, but we're getting out and the weather's getting nice. So we're getting out and doing stuff and doing more exercise and riding bikes and all that kind of stuff. So that's good. Finding the right amount is just the technique. After all that, yeah, finding the right amounts is important also. Absolutely true. You have to buy it to send it. All right, one of you guys that's really just loaded, like Jimmy Such or somebody, send me $1 so I can see what it looks like. Spend $1, Jimmy Such. I think you owe me way more than that anyways. You know what I mean. So Jimmy Such is one of the administrators of our Wednesday Night Poker League. And we had a bet one time on the Vikings and the Bears, and he won the bet, and I paid him. And then he assumed it was always a standing bet. I don't really bet on football, so I never said it was a standing bet. So now he gives me a hard time because the Bears said, oh, look at that. See, I knew one of those really, really rich guys. All right, Jason Cole. Now I have to take you for lunch. It's going to cost me more than $2. Jason Cole, he's one of my best buds. He's actually, Jason and I met he watched my vlog. He's from the Dallas area. We met and had dinner, and I met his wife, and I think we've been out a couple of times. Jason and I have been out more than that. But thank you, Jason. That's very nice of you. Oh, another guy. Nick, you are the best too. I don't know you personally, at least I don't think so. But I really, really appreciate that. That is very, very nice. I see that Jimmy Such hasn't sent me anything, even though he owes me lots of money. Thank you guys so much. That was very nice. Hey, Vic. You want to come say hello to the peeps and bring Buddy? All right, my wife's going to come say hello, I think. Oh, whatever, Jimmy. You want to be on for a minute? She rolled her eyes. There's Vicky and Buddy.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Buddy.
And there's Buddy. Oh, he had a burp.
That's
Sorry.
Jason Cole sent me $2, and so did Nick Vanderwest. Isn't that nice of him?
For what?
That's great. That's great. What do you mean for what? Because I spend a lot of time doing this, and I'm a good guy. So tell them, Vicky. I hope you don't embarrass me. Tell them
No
what was my reaction this week when the people who I get frustrated at who didn't really know math.
I don't know if you want me to
I don't want you to say one word. I want you to say what's my reaction.
He was frustrated.
Get frustrated. Why don't people know math? It's so simple. It's addition and subtraction. It's multiplication. That's all it is. There's so many people that just don't know simple math. And how can you play the game of poker and not know math? I don't get it. Actually, that was going to be one of the discussions tonight. Can you be a winning player and have only a minimal or maybe a zero concept of math? I'll tell you guys my answer in just a minute. Oh, Jason says he's waving. That's a virtual wave. That was a virtual wave.
Let's just say that you wouldn't make a good math teacher.
Why is that?
Because
I'm very good at it.
Right, but you'd be too frustrated. You wouldn't make a good math teacher for me.
Well, probably. So we play dominoes all the time, and dominoes is not hard math, but they can turn over their tiles, and they can have 10 tiles, and I can have them added up in 5 seconds. So I always add up all the tiles, and of course that has nothing to do with poker math. But Nick says no way. I think he was answering the question that said, can you be a winning player without knowing math? I'm going to give you guys my answer here in a moment. So, do you know anybody that's a winning player that doesn't know math?
I don't know.
How many winning players do you know?
Not very many.
So how many do you know?
I don't know.
You better know at least one.
I know at least one.
All right, and that isn't Billy.
And I know some of your friends.
Yeah.
So.
How do you know if my friends are winning players or not?
Well, they're not losing players.
Well, how do you know that?
Because I hear who wins it.
So you know that some of
I know a little bit.
But you do know that some of my friends are losing players, right?
Well, maybe I don't.
Yes, I have.
And I sure don't know if they know math.
I have numerous friends who are winning players, and I have numerous friends who aren't winning players. The ones who aren't winning players are normally the ones who don't take it nearly as serious, right? So it's kind of fun. All right, should I let you guys go? You were going to say something else.
Somebody's got to lose, though.
Of course.
So
how many? What percentage do you think of players? Let's say cash, not tournament. And I don't know if you even know the difference. But what percentage of players do you think are winning players?
I don't know.
Just take a guess. Any guess.
Well, they could be a winning player one night and a losing player the next.
So
night.
Let's say
you can't just lump it all in.
Well, sure, over a year. Let's say over a year.
I have no idea.
Just give it a guess.
No, I have no idea.
Just give it a guess, Pete. Is one guy funding everybody, or a bunch of guys funding the guy that wins?
Well, it's not just one loser.
Correct. It's not just one. So
because everybody's a loser at some point. You're
such a loser.
We just hope you're not losing every time.
Yes. No,
right?
I would say winning players of any magnitude at all, maybe 15% at the most. You probably have, it's for sure at least 50 to 60% of players are losers. And then
you said 25%.
Yeah. Brant says 8.7%. That's probably right. Now,
okay, now you're getting into too much math.
Well, yeah, I know.
I'm going to be done.
So I'm just saying that, in other words, it's not easy to be a winning player. Let's say only 3 out of every 20 are winning players. And even at that, 1 out of 20 at probably the most is somebody who could make a living at it. That's 5%. It's not even that way. It's 2 out of every 100. 2% of players probably could make a living playing in the game. Holy cow. 1 out of every 50. That's not very good. So I'm very happy and proud to say that I make, on the very, very limited hours that I play, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a year on average. And I play I play about 8 times. I play about 350 hours a year. So I'm not killing it, but I'm certainly not. It's certainly a hobby that pays instead of a hobby that is cost, right? Oh, here we go. Here we get some.
Yeah, see what they're saying.
Okay, so yes, with a gigantic bankroll and good luck streak, the ability to quit permanently after you're up. Brent was talking about, can somebody who doesn't know math win? Yes, if we study enough. Yes, that's true. Only a few that I know of in Phoenix beside myself. Yeah, and then here's what they say is amount of winning players. 8.71, 25. Way people see, yes, it seems like a lot less. It's single digit if they actually track their lifetime. 2% or less for notable winning. That's what I say. 2% that can support themselves playing the game. Oh my gosh. How many in our group? Not many, Jimmy. Over the lifetime, 5. Yeah, Brant says 4 out of 36, maybe. Yeah, I say in our group, there's probably 5 that are consistent winners, and I don't know if any one of us are winning players enough that we could do this for a living. Oh, that's so sad. So sad. Now, that doesn't mean that any one of us, even the players that I don't think are consistent winners, couldn't go out and make a really big score in a tournament like the WSOP. That's why, even though tournament poker is very, very frustrating, man, tournament poker, if you hit, you win a lots of money. So pretty good. All right. Are you guys done with seeing Buddy and Vicky? Yeah. Buddy's not done licking me. I'm sweating like a pig in here because I've got the lights on and it's 125 degrees in here. That's why I'm glistening or something or whatever. So, all right. Okay. Wave goodbye to the peeps.
Bye, guys.
Bye, buddy. Oh, my goodness. Jimmy, do you agree with my assessment that maybe 5 on a consistent basis could win? And that doesn't mean, so make sure that we're on the same wavelength here. If I say 15% are winning, what that means is from even to they make a little bit of money a year, like I do, $8,000 or $9,000 a year. That is not winning enough to support myself, right? I would say even winning up to even, $20,000, $25,000 a year. Now, the number of hours I play, if I were to, because if I were to triple that, if you're making $25,000 a year, you could go to 75. Okay, that's enough to get by. So, if you're making $15,000 or less in a year, you're probably, that doesn't count as one of the guys who's killing it. It means that you're pretty good at the game and it's a great extra income, but you couldn't support yourself that way. Now I think that there's another, a much, much larger percentage. So if I say that and I said at least 50 to 60% are losing players. So let's make that, all right, I'll split the difference, 55. That means if there's 55% that are losing players and 15% that are winning players, then that means there's 30% that are around the break-even level. And that seems reasonable to me. Brant, Brant, tell me if that's true. 30% at the break-even level. Let's see. It's definitely a big investment in the beginning. Absolutely true. Yeah. Online poker. Yeah. I would only play online poker if it were completely regulated, like it is in New Jersey and Las Vegas and where else? Michigan. I would not play if it was not regulated. I played before Black Friday and I was fine with that. but I wouldn't play on Poker Bros and all that kind of stuff. It's unregulated. You're at the mercy of not only the software, but the administrators who are taking and giving the money. I just think it's a really, really bad idea. So 3 to 5 WNPLs given the opportunity. Given the opportunity, what does that mean? You mean like we are, like for myself, if I retire and I have the role, is that considered opportunity? Or are you talking about something else? Given the opportunity, let's say that the 30 to 40 of us who are very, very, very consistent in going to play Wednesday Night Poker League. Yeah, maybe 5, maybe 6 could be winners. And I'm not sure if any one of them would be enough to support themselves. It's a tough, tough world out there, man. Penn. Oh, Delaware. Oh, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey, and Nevada. Michigan did sign the bill, but I don't know if it's actually gone into law yet. Brant asked about one of our local places here, and they're going to have their own online place where they're not allowing anybody into that club unless they are a member at the live club also. I don't know. Talk to me in 2 weeks when I still haven't been able to play anymore and see if I change my mind. As of right now, I'm not going to do it. And I trust Steve and I trust the people that are over there. But for me personally, I'm just not going to do it. If given the time and the role, yeah, only the cash game, not our terms. Well, yeah. Well, Jimmy, I assumed that what you were talking about was you're playing every single day, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, just like a regular old job. So you're 40 hours a week plus at 50, 250 days a year. That gives you vacation, stuff like that. So 250 days a year. That's 10,000 hours a year. Pretty tough. Pretty darn tough. I would love to hear Jason and Brant. I don't think Rob's on here now. Get your guys' opinion on how many guys from our Wednesday Night Poker League could be successful given the time and the role. I think it's probably, I'm going to go still with 5 to 6 at the most. Extra game. Live poker is absolutely brutal as a main income, even if you're retired and have the guaranteed supplemental income behind you. The time and stress is a major factor. Absolutely true. I think that all of us who are, I'll put this in quotes, who are good players. I'm putting myself in that category because I've been proven as a consistent winner over 10 years. Not huge, but at least I'm a proven consistent winner. Would I love to know if I could compete and do that? Absolutely. Sure I would. But at one point in 2014, I thought, you know what? I'm gonna go and see if I can do this professionally. So it was my first time to the World Series of Poker, and I did really, really well. I made over $40,000, cashed really, really large in one tournament, and did well in the cash games. And I came back from that trip and I said, I would never in my lifetime ever want to make my living this way, because I watched those guys out there and they were absolutely miserable. And I think that's what Brant is talking about, that the mental stress and the stress of you have to win to pay your rent, or you have to win to feed your kids or whatever. Of course, if you have a big enough role, there's not that stress, but you still, if you have to make some money playing, that's a huge amount of stress. Right now, I like to make money, and I'm not very happy if I don't make money, but if I lose, it does absolutely nothing to my lifestyle at all. I've got my job. I've made good investments, all that kind of stuff. But let's say I didn't have a job and I still have my money for my investments and all that kind of stuff. I would feel much, much, much more pressure about winning. And that would not be nearly as fun. And for me personally, and I think a lot of the guys, they're in the game not only for the competition and the thinking and all that kind of stuff, but they're in it for the fun also. It's just a really enjoyable, especially at a live game, to go out and socialize with people. If I lost the fun of it, yeah, I don't know if I mean, obviously you wouldn't like it nearly as much if you lost the fun of it. I'm a pretty fun guy, not a mushroom. I'm a pretty fun guy though. And so I like to have fun, and that's where I want to be there. And I want to beat the heck out of everybody else and be smarter than everybody else, because at least in my own head, I am smarter than everybody else. Jimmy Such is going to love that comment, because he thinks that I think that I am smarter than everybody else. Oh boy. Oh, he signed out. He said because he's not a good player. Sorry, Jimmy. I didn't say that you weren't one of the 5 or 6. I never said who they were, did I? Yes, Nick says this is a good time for studying. Yes, I was saying earlier, if you guys weren't on the thing, that I have not been doing any studying at all. That's not very good. Although I've been watching Berkey play the WSOP circuit every single night. And man, you can't help but learn by whenever you watch Berkey, because he explains what he's doing on literally every street, or almost every hand, or every street. In fact, my little presentation that I was going to give, which I'm now not going to give, I'm going to save it for a vlog since there weren't enough people here. Berkey makes these decisions that are on this card about EV, and he makes them, and many of us make them in a split second, right? I can make EV decisions for the most part in a matter of seconds. Now, there are some times, of course, that are more difficult and are closer than others. And you do have to stop, and you have to think, and you have to, man, I don't know if this is right. In fact, it was funny watching Berkey on the stream last night. He must have said probably 5 or 6 times, I don't know if this is right. I don't know what the right move is to do here. And he's a world-class player. So there are certainly going to be times where you're going to have to say, I don't know at the right at the, there's a difference between knowing in the moment and going and studying off the table and realizing what you should do, so that the next time you get in the moment, right? Or if you had more time to think about it. If you have more time to think about it, okay, yeah, you make a better decision. At least most of the time. Sometimes your gut is right. But you're making the more and more you get at estimating your estimated value, then it just comes naturally. It just happens in a split second. For most decisions are a split second. Jason says, I doubt if it's that high. I suspect 2 or 3 can make a reasonable living. I wasn't even talking about making a living, Jason. I was talking about even being a winning player. So even as a somebody who takes it serious and plays 10 hours a week, could you be a winning player? I think that's not really very many. Even at that, I think I think 15% is about the number. So every coach I ever had said no one should consider being a poker professional, and I agree, even though they told me after the initial sessions that I could certainly consider it. I agree. It's kind of like in the Christian world. Every pastor I've known said, try to be anything other than a pastor. If you can't not be a pastor, then be a pastor, because that means you have the calling of God and all that kind of stuff. But if you can not be a pastor, don't be it, because that means it's not for you. I would say the same thing about the professional poker. The problem of being better than everyone else is people think you are pretentious. Well, so what? You can be a nice guy and still be better than everybody else. So I'm kind of kidding about myself. Although in the circles that I play in, I'm usually one of the better players. Okay, good for me. But like, Berkey again. Do people think Berkey's pretentious? Yeah, absolutely. But is he also a good guy and fun to be around and all that kind of stuff? Sure he is. And does he know more than everybody else? Absolutely. a bunch of those guys, right? They're going to be, if you're, no matter what profession if you're in, if you are amongst the elite and the best, you're going to be a little bit cocky because confidence has a lot to do with being successful. Upswing Poker is good. Yeah, that's owned by, who's Upswing? I want to say, I can't remember. That's not, I can't remember. I'm a Crush Live Poker sub. Yes. Bart is fantastic. Bart's very, very good. Jason, that's only a problem if you give something about how they view you. Thankfully, that was more of the big scoop of I don't care. He's talking about being pretentious. Yes, that's true. And so Brant is a very, very good player. He's one of the 5 or 6 or whatever it is that I absolutely think can make it. And he's proven that he can. And when Brant gets on the poker table, he comes off as a little bit cocky, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that because he's very, very good. He's smart. He knows what he's doing. And that doesn't mean that outside of that, he's like that. It's just that means he's very, people who are really, really good at something, they are going to come off that way. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, as long as you can be a good guy, beside that too. So, so Nick says it took him about 2 years to be a winning player. So Nick, I know I wish I could talk to you. Dang it. So Nick, tell me what it means to you to be a winning player. Are you supporting yourself 100% that way? Are you making it as a side gig where, hey, I make X amount of money in my job and now I make this and I make another 20% or something like that? What does it mean to you that it took you 2 years to be a winning player? With EV, many people make the mistake of only applying it during a hand. It's even more useful over a batch of hands. A session, maybe image building, showing your cards, making a big laydown and such. I don't really consider that EV, Brant. I consider that more of what the metagame is. However, you could probably easily convince me because EV is not just poker, right? Estimated value can be with the example they give all the time is a coin flip, but it doesn't have to be gambling. You make EV decisions every time you decide to buy something, whether it's an investment, a car, a home. A book, for example, is going to. Everyone would tell you if you buy a book, a hardback book for $25, monetarily you've made a terrible investment. But that money is not everything that it has to do with estimated value, right? So if you buy that book for $25 and can only sell it at a garage sale for $2 later, you haven't lost if the value that you gain from that is something greater for you, whether it's entertainment or whether it's learning how to do something or whatever it is. So EV is not always necessarily money. In poker, EV is money. Oh yeah, Doug. Is that Doug Polk is upswing? Yes, that's correct. I am not a Doug Polk fan. I think he's very, very smart. I'm just not a big fan. Let's leave it at that. Brent says he has no idea that he comes off as that. And I don't mean that in a negative sense. I mean that is, so you should ask, I wish there was other people for Wednesday Poker here, Brent, because you came in, you absolutely were killing it. And you still are killing it. You're in first place. I wonder what they would say. I would say that they would say that. And it's not anything that you're a nice guy and I, we get along great, right? But the way that you carry yourself at the table is it would definitely an air of confidence. And some people are going to be turned off by that and think you are pretentious. I don't think that at all. I think it's confidence. I think it's just the fact that somebody who's like that is a very, very good player. It might rub people who aren't very good the wrong way. How's that? Is that a better answer? So Nick says he has a part-time job, but he's able to support himself but not save so much. So basically, I'm hearing Nick say that he's gotten good enough that he can pay the rent, pay for food, but can't save any money and can't set himself up for the next whatever comes up in life, or what happens if a crisis hits. He's not able to save money. Hey, at least that's a start, right? So Nick, it does sound like you are a winning player, but not one that could do it full time as of yet. Yes. Yes, it is. EV is a value judgment, and that value does not have to be monetary. It can be all those other things. Hey, there's Jimmy again. Jimmy, you're back. So Jimmy, what did I don't know who you agreed with and said with a bunch of aggressive. So Jimmy, answer the question. Do you think Brant comes off as a little bit cocky, pretentious, whatever the word is, because you did not know him before he started at Wednesday Poker League? So I say the answer is yes, even though, again, Brant's one of my good friends. I think he says agree. Yes. So this turned into the Brant show. I wish I could get Ruth's answer. Ruth, what do you think? I bet you she would say yes. Of course, she can put you in your place anytime she wants to. So that's a good thing. That's pretty funny. Well, shoot, I wish there would have been more people here tonight. I would have done my little deal on EV because this is a really, really great discussion. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my little EV presentation as a vlog. I wasn't going to put one out this week, but maybe if I worked on it really hard, I might be able to get one out by Friday. We'll see. I was probably not going to plan on doing one until Monday or so. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So Jason says he doesn't think Brant is, but you're just wrong. Hey, that's a good discussion on this kind of stuff, because I had that on my vlog before, is what is a winning player? And in fact, I told Trevor Savage that I was going to do kind of like a man on the street interview. It wasn't going to be on the street, actually, but I was going to just ask the question of many of the vloggers or people who are in the poker spotlight a little bit, like Nimi and Owen and Jamin and Trevor and some other guys, and ask them, what do you consider a winning player? And see what they would say. I think it's way different. Their consideration of a winning player is probably way different than mine, as an example. So mine, because I don't have to do it professionally, I don't have to make a living. Mine is, if I make money every year, I think I'm a winning player. They may not see it the same way. Confidence is a factor in success. Absolutely true. In fact, I don't know how you can be successful without being confident. Oh, so anyhow, I'll go back to the question I asked originally. It started this whole thread was, can you be a winning player without knowing the math? And I would say it is possible, but very, very improbable. There are, however, some people who, even though they would say they don't know the math, inherently there's something in them that they know what the right decision is. So I'm going to give you guys Phil Hellmuth as an example, and I don't mean this in the math vein. I was looking over some of the Solve for Why MTT training, multi-table tournament training, and they said that Phil Hellmuth is not a very good poker player. However, he does very, very good in tournaments, not because he knows the names or the words or why he's doing what he's doing, but because he has an incredible grasp intuitively of what he's supposed to do. And I think that's a really, really good example, at least if you believe that from the Berkey and the Solve for Why guys. So yeah, good example. There are some people who just, or maybe they just get lucky, but no, I think there are some people who on a consistent basis, they're just inherently, they have an intrinsic I know what to do, whether they know what to call it or whatever it is. They just simply have something in them, their head or their heart or whatever, which they know the right thing to do. And if you aligned it up with what the numbers were, they're probably making the right decision 80, 90% of the time or more. There's always that one luck box. More luck boxes on WMPL. I guess, Jimmy, you do not agree with the answer of 5 or 6 of us. So, yep. So, okay, guys. Well, we've gone an hour. I was disappointed that we didn't get more people on here. Gosh, last week I had so many more people. Wow. They must be bored of hearing from old Mr. Bill. So I'm going to end this in about 4 minutes. So if you, yes, that is absolutely true, Jimmy. You are very, very, very tight. Remember, I coached you about that. Stop being so tight. They're going to give you credit. When you do that, you're much, much, much better. So I'm going to end this in about 4 or 5 minutes. So if you got any last thoughts, go ahead and send me a message, and I will answer better Peeps tonight or Peps. So Jason says, yes, that Phil was so successful for so long, but now the game is so different that Phil struggles. I'm not so sure that's true, Jason. He still gets to a lot of final tables and gets to a lot. Now what I have heard is that he's not very good in the cash game. That I don't know, but tournament, I think he's still way, way up there. Jimmy, that's so funny. That's so funny. You funny guy. I think I've seen Jimmy take advantage of his image once or twice. He should do it once or twice more every night. More raised spots from the small blind, Jim. Or try to get it in bad and suck out on the river. Is that how you're making your money, Nick? I doubt it. If you're a winning player, then raising from the small blind or just hoping to suck out on the river are probably 2 really, really poor strategies. Actually, that was one thing that I used to have a leak that I would raise a good hand from the small blind, but not a premium. So I'm talking about your ace 10s and your ace jacks and your jack 10s and king queens. And I used to raise those from the small blind, and I lost so much money that way. So raising from the small blind is really, really, really a bad idea. I used to do it because, gosh, I'm going to sound so cocky. I am so much better than most of the players that I play with at like WinStar 1-2 that I thought, I'll just run over these people, right? But if you are so dumb as to think that the cards don't matter, that you're just going to run over everybody regardless of the cards, then you're going to get thumped. And that's what happened to me. I'm just so much better than these people. And I'm going to raise with Queen 9 suited in the small blind after a raise and 3 callers, and I'm just going to take their money. That was just stupid. Just plain stupid. And I don't do it anymore. I rarely raise from the small blind. I ain't doing it no more. Jimmy's bet sizings, in my opinion, are way too large, but that's just me. I only do it, I only do it in good squeeze spots against weaker players. And that's what I was doing. Nick also was always obviously very good squeeze spot. The problem was I was doing it with cards that weren't good enough. So when I did get called and I would continuation bet or whatever, I was just getting thumped. Playing out of position is really not a very good strategy. And then if you're playing PLO and you play out of position, you might as well just hand your money over to the other players. PLO is a game of playing in position. So there's your 2-second PLO strategy tip for the night. All right. See you guys. I'm heading out here too in a minute. Glad you guys could join me. See you, Brant. See you, Ruth. No PLO. Oh, it's a great game, Nick. One of these days, man. Get in there, mix it up. 4 cards, never fold. or even you play Congress, play 5 cards. Woohoo! At our Hideaway Club, we play all sorts of games like that. We play, oh my gosh, play PLO and Congress, and they have a game called Regret, which is a 4-card game, and Hideaway Poker, which is 3 cards, but one of them's up. It's just, there's some crazy, crazy games out there. So, all right, guys, I think that's going to do it. Thank you so much for joining me. And I don't think I'm going to have a vlog this week. I think I am going to wait till next week. So, again, thank you guys. I appreciate it. For Nick and Jason, you guys are awesome that you sent me $2. That was very, very nice of you guys. Jimmy Such, where was your $2? Let's go. All right. See you guys later. Bye.